Hey everybody, it's me, Albatross. Well, I'm coming in hot today because this subject is so deep, so heavy, and so layered that I could literally be on here all day long. All day long. I wouldn't even scratch the surface of just this one issue. And this one issue is just one small part of another even deeper, more layered complex system. So, there's really no logical way to begin to ascertain this, but, much like the way the media covers, Britney, there really isn't any logic behind it. You know what? There's nothing logical about anything that the media does. I mean, just think about this for a minute. Virginia Giuffre is barely cold in her grave. And you know what? And weeks ago, they had already moved on from it. Weeks ago. They never found out how she killed herself. Never found out if there was a funeral, if there was a burial, if there was a cremation, if there was an autopsy. Never found out any of that stuff. Never even found out if it was actually going to be investigated or looked into. Never found out none of that stuff. And then it just goes dark. Just goes dark. Completely goes dark. Oh, no. No, not before, though. Not before Virginia Giuffre's dad goes on Piers Morgan and says he doesn't believe that she killed herself. He said that, his own mouth. And then it goes dark. But it's funny, because it's like every other day, there's no lack for news articles about what Britney Spears is doing. About what she's doing in her life. Even though she's made it clear she wanted to be left the hell alone. But they made it clear that, oh yeah, by the way, I thought this was funny, so I took a picture of it. I'm sure it was because of my connection or something, but how odd is that would come up after searching for Britney Spears, right? Because I searched it for again, and sure enough, there was an unlimited amount of pages of news articles, so I took a picture of it while I could. Anyway, moving on. But anyways, I have made up my mind already. And it's my speculation, my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. And I've said it before. But I think this almost kind of confirms it. That all the press, all the mainstream media press, and even a lot of the big YouTube influencers are all CIA bought and paid for, manipulated, infiltrated. All of them are. Because you can't tell me. I don't fall for the bullcrap anymore. You can't tell me that every single, quote, a journalist, unquote, other words, CIA agent, you can't tell me that they're all choosing to ignore what most people actually care to learn about and focusing on a bunch of bullcrap. Like humiliation rituals. It's crazy. Every month, a new celebrity comes out and says something disparaging about this woman. This woman who isn't bothering anybody. She is bothering nobody. And they're coming out every month with something disparaging. Like this guy, Bobby Brown. Like what? How many years has it been, bro? How many years has it been? Who cares? And then, oh my God, Sam Asghari? Look at this. Britney Spears' ex-husband, Sam Asghari, took a swipe at his relationship with the pop princess. He called their union Hollywood. I'm not gonna lie, I cried when I read that. Because how could you diminish someone so much? Someone who had been through what she had been through. Who had been enslaved for over a decade. Dude, she couldn't even decide if she could see another man besides you. So, what does that say about you? You were handpicked by the team. I'm sorry, I'm getting off, I need to stick, that's why I wrote notes. Because it just goes so deep. And I know we all hope that after she got freed from her conservatorship, the media would leave her alone, right? That's what we hope. But, like, they haven't. They've been on a consistent onslaught ever since. Like, oh my gosh. 1 month she's on drugs. 1 month she's dancing with knives. 1 month she's too naked and is traumatizing her kids. Despite the fact she'd spent 15 years basically forced to go out there performing in her underwear with fevers and God knows what else. Like, it's just been unreal. Like, this poor woman, she can't do nothing. And now one could argue, well, then why does she keep posting all that stuff on Instagram? Well, you know what? Geez, I don't know. Private people post on Instagram all the time. So, I don't know. But what I do know is this woman is clearly not allowed to have some form of PR agent. Which begs the question, well, what do you mean she's not allowed to have some form? I mean what I said, I mean she's not allowed to. Because she's never been free. That whole media circus that they did with the court, that was all bullcrap. That she may not have a legal conservatorship in place. But let's not pretend like she doesn't have people who aren't still controlling the situation. And just letting the news disparage her every single day. And don't be so quick to pat Brenda Penny, that judge who released her, on the back. Because she didn't want to release her from the conservatorship. Even after her Britney's public testimony describing what she had been through. Even after that. She didn't want to let her go. The only reason she did was because she knew she couldn't let Jamie run it anymore, Britney's dad. The only reason she did let her go is because the conservatorship people that Brenda Penny, wanted to put in place backed down because of that testimony. They didn't want to do it anymore. So she didn't want to release her. But she did because she had to. And you know how I know she's not free? You know how I know she's not actually free? It's because, ever since I've been doing this YouTube channel, I've been flipping through all the news and everything like that. So I've been paying attention. And a month or two, she said she was going to move to Mexico. She got on her Instagram. She said, I'm moving to Mexico because I've just had enough. The media is so mean. They won't leave me alone. And, I just want to be left alone. I just want peace. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I don't remember what exactly she said. But she said she wanted to move to Mexico. Well, I think it was that same day that sources close to Britney say that she's not moving to Mexico. Sources, not Britney. She didn't come back and backtrack it. Sources close to Britney said she wasn't moving. Oh, yeah, she also said something. Britney, when she had said that she was moving, also said something along the lines that she was 5, which is, we'll get into that in a minute because, that's DID. But we'll get into that in a minute. But they ought to do some kind of citizens jury investigation on some of these judges. Because I'm telling you, these judges are some of the most corrupt people in our country. I'm telling you, there's something else. Because let's see, the first judge that was on her case for like 10 years, unfortunately, she asked more about Britney's ticket sales and tour revenue more than she did about Britney's own well-being. And she never even laid eyes on Britney. That cannot be stressed enough. This woman has never laid eyes on Britney. She's never been in a courtroom before. She never got to go to the courtroom. Ever. For her own conservatorship. Never. Like once or twice in the end. Never in the beginning. It's wild. And then the judge for the last few years, kept putting it off. And then when she did it, keep in mind, when Britney did her testimony, she said she did that same testimony 2 years prior. Back in, 2019 or something? Yeah, back in 2019. Except it wasn't public then. It was all sealed. Nothing came of it. Only ever something came of it when it was public. These judges need to be investigated, and courtrooms should all be video camera live streamed 24/7. I know that the courts aren't open 24/7, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just wild what this court has gotten away with. And oh my god, like, that's what I mean. This case is so deep and layered. I need to stick to my notes here because it's so complex. So I have the assumption that people watching already have some kind of basis knowledge of this, what's going on. If you don't, I will link some very good documentaries that break it all down. None of those CIA planted documentaries, like real documentaries about Britney and people who actually really did the work investigating all these shady ass people, like Deep Dive and BJ Investigates or That Surprise Witness. I mean, they're the ones who deserve credit for it all because they seem to me to be the realest out of all of them. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Seems like a lot of the other Free Britney people have since converted to the... That's another thing. You see, with these media and like these ex-Free Britney advocates, they don't say they're ex. I say they're ex-Free Britney advocates. It's because it's like they keep pushing it. Like years after, we all know what we know. And they're still always saying, oh, they should have never let her out of that conservatorship. Sources close to Britney say that the judge let her out way too early and that it was Hollywood. They keep using that word, Hollywood. Right? Which, I mean, I guess I can't disagree. That court is pretty Hollywood. But it's weird because it's like all these influencers who were very strong Free Britney advocates all of a sudden are saying these little tidbit things here and there recently that I've noticed. Like the exact same talking points that like TMZ and stuff are saying. So I'm just saying there's something going on here. Not just here, but in like all of it. The deep state is like really working hard. That's all I'm saying. So just be careful who you listen to. Please be careful. Oh my gosh, there's so much here just on the internet alone, that it should warrant investigation into all this, but they haven't. And it's because the government's behind all of this. I'm serious, the government is behind all of this. It is my opinion, my firm opinion, speculation, opinion, allegedly, that TMZ is a CIA front. And they were specifically put there to keep not just Britney. I mean, because she was the hugest moneymaker back then in 2005. But other people like her to torment them, keep them miserable, keep them down. And that's what they've done. Man, Britney ought to sue TMZ. I'm telling you. But, you know, government's part of it. So not like it would go anywhere. That's probably why she hasn't. Okay. And I'm going to get into some very deep speculation here. Just to FYI. To let you guys know. This is all very opinionated right now. This is all my opinion and speculation. Just seeing the things that I've seen. And then we'll get into the facts in a second. But I just got to get this out. I think at some point when Britney was young, because think about it, Britney's been in Hollywood since she was a child. A young child. And at very vulnerable ages. I think something happened at some point in her childhood. Now, before her dad even got involved. I mean, back when her mom was involved. And I hope Britney's would never watch this because I know how much she loves her mom. From what I've seen, she really cares for her mom deeply. But so I hope, not that she probably would, I just hope she wouldn't. But I think her mom sold her out at a very young age. I do. I'm sorry, because it just, something just doesn't add up about it. And I'll tell you why. Because, like, most child stars, if they're lucky enough to grow up even relatively normal and happy enough to even have children and have a family like that, like she did. You know, like, I think that they hated the fact that her mom included, wanted to have children, wanted to have a family. And I think they've been punishing her for it ever since. I do. That's just my opinion. And I'm probably wrong. I could be wrong about it. But, like, because they keep acting like, the media, they keep acting like they own Britney. Like, they literally do. Like, they act like that they have the absolute right, God-given right, to say and do whatever they want about this woman. And they might treat a few other celebrities like this, like maybe Justin Bieber, which we'll get into in a minute what they've got in common. But, like, they literally treat them like they got this right to do this to them, and that they just get over it. And then Britney grows up. Britney starts to have kids. She goes off and gets married for a day or two or something like that. And then, her in comes her mom and all these lawyers and all this stuff. And a lot happens in 2005 or 2004 in that area. And she, like, starts protecting her own assets because, why? Because I think she knows that people are starting to come for her. In my opinion, allegedly. Go watch the videos linked below, and you'll see why I come to that conclusion. There's a lot of evidence pointing to that. That she thought that something was coming for her just a couple years before the conservatorship was put in place. Well, then these leeches, these predators, one by the name of Lou Taylor, comes along and apparently, I guess, can't get through her mom right away. Actually, no one knows she does eventually. But she goes through her dad. Very brilliant. She goes through her dad and appeals to him with greed. Gives him a loan even. Gives him a loan. And then, all of a sudden, Britney belongs to her. Like, she's like her business manager, her accountant, tour manager. They get, all of a sudden, they're the ones who get to decide what she can eat and not do, not do. Like, it's just wild how it all unfolded. It really is. And it might all sound crazy. It all might sound far-fetched. But keep this in mind. There was a lot of very rich, powerful people who had very big incentives to keep Britney miserable, to keep her right where she was at, and get in a position of control, who had a lot of big incentives for doing that. I mean, they had, like, that's how, like I said, that's how TMZ, they owe their whole existence to Britney and making fun of her and exploiting her. They owe their whole existence to this woman. They'll never acknowledge that, but, like, they do. I mean, these photographers were getting paid like upwards of millions of dollars for a picture of Britney, even like twice as much as that for a picture of Britney with her new baby, which is why they were causing all kinds of havoc on the streets. Why she got her kids taken away, like as if it's her fault. She just wanted to be a mom. And they were getting paid millions. And here's the messed up part. It was like, the more unflattering, the more mad they would get her, and like things like that. It was like the more money they'd get. It was like they'd get way more money by getting a non-consenting picture than by getting one she consented to and smiled. It was worth way more to get her one, like flipping someone off, telling them to leave her alone, and It was worth way more. It was wild. It was a wild time back then. TMZ should be called the misogynistic zealots or something. I know, it sounds corny, but I've never seen a press agency, and this is really saying something, that's more diabolical, more CIA infiltrated and funded, more woman hating, shaming, more like racist, more deep state bootlicking, Kardashian Diddy loving plants in my life. Like, they're all like connected with the CIA. In my opinion, it's all my opinion. It's all my opinion. All my opinion. Did you guys get that? That was my opinion. Okay. I know, I get sick of saying it, but you got to. So now that she's not, able to, like, they can't, like, directly make her go and perform on tours and make money that way. You see, now they're using her for other means because they feel like they own her. At some point, someone made them feel like they own this woman. So they use her now for, like, rites of passage and, like, humiliation rituals. Like, I'm telling you, look at the news headlines. It's like every month you'll see a new celebrity disparaging her. Like I said a minute ago, we were reading about Bobby Brown saying that she butchered some song that she sang, she did of his, 10 years ago or something? I don't know when it was. It could have been under when she was during the conservatorship. Who knows? I don't even know. I don't even remember what song he's talking about. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I never really listened to Britney Spears' music. But I'm not here for that. It's because I care for her as a person. I hate seeing anybody get treated like this. Like, it's disgusting. And then there was another article, like a month before that, where it was Lizzo. It was Lizzo's turn, and she's been doing her rounds lately. Let me tell you, she's been doing her rounds of deep state bootlicking, saying that the Illuminati doesn't exist, not in the celebrity world at least, they're not rich enough to do that. It's like, all right, Lizzo, okay. After what they did to her, she's back to licking their boots. So, and I'm sure she had to go through that. I bet she's about to do music or something. They probably made her do this first, my opinion, allegedly, where she had to say something disparaging about Britney Spears. So she goes on there and, says, what did she say? Something like she was like a Janet Jackson wannabe. I don't know, something like that. I know, right? Like, what? But anyway, and then, a month before that, it was Tyla's turn to disparage Britney. It was her turn. So, she, like, wore her outfit or something. Which, I don't know, it was cute. It wasn't exactly the same, but it did look very similar. And I guess people were calling her out for it, and she said, shut the F up, or something. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. She said something, but, like, you see what I mean? You see, like, a trend. Like, there's always, like, someone out there just jab at her. Embarrass her. It was pitiful, because one of those articles with Lizzo, it was like, Britney, I just want to be left alone. Like, just please leave me alone. And in between these celebrity rituals, they'll just, like, nitpick everything she does and, like, try to get her banned from every restaurant and hotel and airplane that she goes on. It's, like, it's getting annoying. And hence when I get into the problem here, what I think is the problem. Other than the deep state. Of course they're a problem. Of course they're a problem. But as far as Britney's concerned... Okay, well, first I want to say... Here's my message for Britney Spears. Please be careful. Because there's someone who has some sort of agenda to groom the public into being okay with you being... either back in a conservatorship or something. I don't know what they're planning. I don't know, but they're grooming. So just be careful of the people around you. I mean, obviously, I don't even know if she can even control who's around her anymore. Like, I'm just saying, it's obvious the woman's not free. And if she is free, then where's her PR? Her good PR. Not these weird sources that TMZ have. Where's her good PR? And on that note, what I think the problem is the Britney stans. They've been the biggest problem the whole time. Not the ones who've been advocating for the freedom, but like the Britney stans, who've been demanding her to like do weird things like music and I don't know, you know what I mean, the Britney stans. Like, you've been the biggest problem of them all. You are no better than these conservators treating her like she's not even a human being. Treating her like she's only worth something to you because of the music she made that you listen to, or because of the clothes or the dance move. Like, knock it off. Knock it off. There's something really wrong with her. No, I don't mean mentally. I think she's fine mentally. I do. She might be different than a lot of people, but so? I don't think she's got dementia or she's gonna hurt herself. No, I think there are bad players in her life that she can't get rid of. And, you know, there's some bad agendas going on around her. That's all I can say. I don't know who or what, but there's just some bad agendas floating around her. And I really hope that, I don't know, she can find a way to get out of it. You know, the thing I keep going back to that is when she says that she called her dad when she was locked up and they were over-medicating her. And psych places do this to people. I mean, I've seen them do this to people. They'll over-medicate people against their will. She called her dad and said, "Dad, I'm scared." And him and her whole family were in her beach house in Florida. Like, I don't know. I'm allowed to feel. And no, I don't really like celebrities much, but Britney's, it's a little different because I don't know if she even necessarily asked for all this. She just, I don't know, and I could be wrong, but she always struck me as such a sweet soul. Like, and I just, and it makes me feel bad for her that she's in a world where there's all these Satanists who just love to torture sweet souls like hers, you know? And I hope these Britney stans can knock it off. Leave her alone. Maybe, you know, God, let the media leave her alone. So she can actually be a normal person for once in her life. But that's all I had to say about that. You know, justice for Britney. And, yeah. But FYI, Britney's, the lady who enslaved Britney, is also linked to P. Diddy. Although her name hasn't come up in the trial yet, but her and her company are the ones who are paying all these people. So I'm interested to see that come up in the trial. She also manages Cardi B and the Kardashians, you know. So there's that. All right, bye.